Nithyanandam, with all auspicious blessings and grace of my Guru, Bhagawan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam, I welcome you to this video. New year, new beginnings, new hope. All of us look forward to an exciting new year with lots of hope, lots of dreams, and wish that we all achieve what we aim to achieve with a lot of joy, less suffering, no conflict. And we all always dream of the perfect world where we are the best at everything we do, we are the best where we are, and everybody's happy, blissful. The utopia. Isn't that what we all dream of? Where there's no conflict, no suffering, no hunger, no poverty, no anger, no violence. Is such a world even possible? We have read many stories around a Hindu mythology where such a world existed, possible, where human beings lived the best lifestyle, be it without conflict, be it without any kind of violence, in the inner space and in the outer space, or living gracefully, living with great dignity, living a life full of richness, full of joy, full of value for themselves and people around them. These are the fable stories we have heard, be it in the Mahabharata, the Ramayana, or the Panchatantra, where every human being, every story had great values, had principles which we all dream of living up to every day, every moment of our life. That is what we feel is the purpose of our life, living the best in everything we do. Was Hinduism the only religion that taught us to live the best principles, that taught us what are the deeper aspects of the best in ourselves are, how to explore it, how to live it, how to make others experience your best, how to experience non-violence, how to live non-violence and radiate non-violence, which is the very core of all our birth. No human is born bad. This is something we all talk every day in and out. But then, why is there so much of suffering, so much of poverty, so much of anger? We still have not found a solution for it. Or we feel we've not found a solution for it because we are so caught up in our materialistic endeavors, materialistic achievements, in our, what we term it as, achievements in life. All our endeavors, all our energies are towards achieving what we can, or what we call as social success. To be socially accepted as a successful person, to be socially revered as a successful person. When we are all looking outward to achieve, then how are we going to find the inner peace, the inner joy, the inner richness of every human being? That inner richness, which at one time was so associated with our country called Bharat, which could have only radiated to us and taught to us by great avatars or gurus. Only if we pause for a moment, turn back, and look inside of you, each one of us will realize how corrupted we have become from our child to adult to teenage and onto the path of success or living life as it comes. The purity of thought, the purity of words have been completely diluted, completely corrupted by what we feel is how it is socially acceptable. We have moved from our conscious acceptability to social acceptability, and that is where there is so much of conflict and suffering. But for all those who, for all of us, for all those of us who dream of utopia, the ultimate world where there is no conflict, no suffering, and just all of us living with each other in joyful state, sharing, living richly, vibrantly, and with great dignity that life deserves, that we have born to and for, is to live life in fulfillment with bliss and with lot of dignity. For those of us who dream of this ultimate world, my Guru, His Divine Holiness, Bhagawan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam, has opened up a completely new world, a world called Kailaasa, a nation called Kailaasa. You must be wondering, how is it possible in today's world when there is so many things happening and there is so much of conflict where everybody is looking to do things and achieve things? How is it possible to create the perfect, the best world for each one of us? Please keep watching Swamiji's Satsangs on nityananda.tv every morning at 7:30 a.m. without fail, and you will know what Kailasa is. You will experience, or rather, you'll have a glimpse of the experience of Kailasa just when you watch his Satsangs, which will make you want, thirst to be part of this nation called Kailasha. Is Kailasha really a mythological world, or something we've just heard of, or some far off mountain? What is it in reality? Can it be revived? Yes, I'm talking about Kailasa being revived, not something new. It is being revived. Kailasha was a nation that was brought to earth for us human beings to live enlightened lifestyle by Lord Paramashiva himself. Decades and centuries, or even before that, Lord Paramashiva himself came to this land, came to this earth to give this enlightened consciousness as a gift to each and every human being, because every human being is born to live, radiate, and experience enlightenment. Enlightenment is to be experienced while living, not after death. Why I am specifically reiterating this is, for many years I used to think, oh, Jivan Mukti, enlightenment, is for people who died. After death, what happens? I don't care. As long as I'm living, I should be a good human being. I should do the best I can do. That was my limited understanding of life. But now I understand why, despite being so active in my life, so dynamically successful in my life, I could always find some corner of myself where I was not complete or fulfilled about what I was doing. I always felt there was some part of me that was missing, something I had not really connected to. It always reminded me of a train with one compartment missing. That was my life. A train with a compartment missing, but continuing its journey till I met my guru, who taught me that enlightenment, and experientially also I understood that every man's purpose of life, of birth on this planet, is only enlightenment, is to live, radiate enlightenment. But why is enlightenment so specific to Hinduism, so specific to Sanatana Dharma? Other religions can also have it, or may have it, which we don't know about. No. If you explore each and every religion, you will come back to Sanatana Hindu Dharma, which gives you so many paths towards enlightenment, which gives you any options available in life, which is possible for every human being to explore, but only on towards enlightenment. Because Sanatana Hindu Dharma is not an institution, it is not an organization. It was put together, let me say, a specific set of lifestyle put together by avatars who land on this earth with the sole intention of giving enlightenment to human beings. These avatars do not have any other hidden agendas or purposes, not even their names that need to be glorified. Which is why, if you see our Vedas, the Shastras, the Agamas, do not have an author to whom these books or great philosophies can be attributed to. That's the unique concept of our religion, Sanatana Dharma. As we all know, or rather most of us would know, that the Sanatana Dharma And the Vedic civilization has spanned over centuries in India. And over the centuries of its reverberating lifestyle, it has produced the richest culture, the most prosperous country in the world. And over the years, our country was invaded, brutally invaded by different invaders, be it the Islamic or the Christian invasion forces, who have completely annihilated our cultural identity. Even the wealth or the treasures are mostly a secondary aspect of life. But when my cultural identity, the very core of who I am, is now a confused, diluted mess, then the existence of Sanatana Dharma itself is tottering on the edge of almost being disappearing. One of those civilizations, one of those religions which would just evaporate into the air and to be never heard of again. This civilization, the enlightened civilization, at its zenith, spanned across 56 major nations, 200 states, 17,000 provinces, and over 10,000 sampradayas. Can you imagine 10,000 sampradayas it has created, 17,000 provinces, 56 major nations? This civilization spanned across this voluminous land and people without having a single leader. It was not one leader, it was not one man, but the philosophies, the principle, the lifestyle that was able to enrich this vast land and this numerous human beings to live and radiate enlightenment. And this land not only lived and radiated enlightenment, it was an incubator where countless enlightened beings like Krishna, Rama, Buddha, many rishis, munis, and siddhas were born, and through their birth continuously kept the cycle of enlightenment, kept up the thirst of the people, attended to the search of man, and guided him or her towards enlightenment. It was the most unique aspect of Sanatana Dharma, which most of us would know if we explore to the depth of the religion. But unfortunately, this enlightened civilization was brutalized, annihilated from its very core, from its quintessential place, India, and finally in 2007, Nepal, the last known Hindu country, also fell. It is no longer a Hindu country. We Hindus do not have a single country, a single place where I, as a Hindu, can practice my religion, my rituals, my worships in its pure space, in its pure context, without being criticized or legally harassed, with no context. It is because of these brutal invasions and complete annihilation of my cultural and intellectual identity and the knowledge of Sanatana Hindu Dharma that today Sanatana Hinduism, Sanatana Hindu Dharma faces so much of conflict. It's almost going to become extinct. Otherwise, just imagine Kerala, which was a land of God, which by its very divinity used to attract so many tourists, ruled by the very divine Lord, Ayappa, whose name and whose presence would just rouse so much of bhakti, so much of joy, and a big wide smile on all his devotees, is today almost like a war zone. Today, there is no safe haven for enlightened ecosystems of Hinduism to even exist. Sampradaya by sampradaya, they are being targeted and dismantled. Sabrimala, for example, which I just shared, and Shani Singnapur are the latest in the long list of victims. All our Shastras, the Vedas, the Agamas, which Paramashiva himself revealed, based on the enlightened consciousness to build an enlightened civilization, have been discarded, lost, and destroyed. And again, I would like to remind everybody we are on the brink of being extinct species, an extinct religion. The science of enlightenment itself has been diluted and forgotten. The future of Hinduism, the future of mankind, the future of man without violence has become bleak. Just imagine the future where non-violence is no longer a part of our dictionary, no longer a part of our thought current, no longer part of India. As we all know, India was at one time called Akhanda Bharat. Akhanda Bharat, not only because of its vast spaces that it has been able to inspire and enrich, but also because of the vastness in the human beings who lived at that point of time, who lived with so much of grace and dignity. That is why, at one time, Bharat, or India, was called Akhanda Bharat, covering over 56 states. Isn't that amazing to know that India was no longer boxed as it is now? As we see, India today is just a small box in a nutshell. I would rather call it a matchbox compared to what we used to be before. The Akhanda Bharat not only describes India geographically, but describes the man, the human beings who lived in it. It included from Afghanistan to Indonesia to Sri Lanka. It covered almost the entire Southeast Asia. That used to be Akhanda Bharat. And it's not possible to influence and enrich so many human beings with violence. We can only enforce with violence, but not inspire, where till today, temples like in Cambodia stand strong, stand high, stand still, reminding its people of the influence of Sanatana Hindu Dharma on its land and on its consciousness. The last light of Hinduism, of our great religion, Sanatana Hindu Dharma, is His Divine Holiness, Bhagawan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam, who was incarnated at this crucial time to save the enlightened civilization. And he is establishing the only Hindu nation in the world, the only Hindu nation in the planet today, called Kailaasa. What is so unique in Kailash, or Kailaasa as we call it, that does not exist anywhere else on the planet today? You would be surprised to know, to understand, that Kailaasa is a nation with Hinduism as a state religion, and the Vedas and the Agamas are the constitution. Arthashastra, Dharmashastra, Ayurveda, Yoga Shastra, Vimana Shastra form the core of its administration, judiciary, health, and other industrial systems. You must be wondering, how does Sanatana Hindu Dharma, a religion that existed from before man became civilized or prehistoric times, is going to teach us something new about the health and the industrial systems or technology? But Hinduism, or the philosophies, the principles, the science of Sanatana Hindu Dharma were way beyond science, which even science is striving to catch up today. It's not only striving, it's struggling, and finally starting to realize the impact of the sciences, the philosophies of Sanatana Hindu Dharma on science. Science and spirituality do, of course, have to coexist. But today, many scientists understand that without the core values, the principles, and the philosophies which form the great sciences of Sanatana Hindu Dharma, science will still be a tottering kid. So they started to integrate the teachings, the philosophies, and the sciences of Sanatana Dharma into their life. Kailasa is bringing spiritual legitimacy, religious legitimacy, social legitimacy, cultural legitimacy, historic legitimacy, economic legitimacy, and political legitimacy to Sanatana Hindu Dharma. Learn more about Kailasa, the nation, which is a historic nation the most unique nation in the world today by visiting our website, kailasa.org. The link I projected below. We invite all living Hindus and all people who want to practice Hinduism, and anyone who wants to be part of Kailasa, the greatest nation in the world today. Join us, be part of our movement to revive the enlightened civilization. If you want to become part of our enlightened civilization, to experience, radiate, and express the signs of living enlightenment, do visit us at kailasa.org/join us. You can see the link being flashed below. If you feel this information or this great moment would help any of your friends, families, please share this video with them. And if you have any comments, feedback, inputs, we greatly welcome them and in specific, look forward to reading the comments which you leave behind, because it helps me to know more what people who are watching this video and to relate to them. Please leave your comments below. And if you would like to connect to me, please connect to me on my YouTube channel or through my Twitter or my Facebook page. Looking forward to seeing you again in my next video. Thank you for watching. Nithyanandam.